Since time and on, humans have found ways to connect and communicate with one another, to share ideas and knowledge. Early on, languages evolved and revolutionary technologies, that is, craft systems such as writing, came into being. This desire to connect with others and make it easier to share ideas is what led to the conceptual foundation of the World Wide Web by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989, whilst working at CERN, the European Organisation for Nuclear Research, which is based in Geneva, Switzerland. Berners-Lee identified a need to share information more easily and quickly between the scientists and members of CERN. If this could be achieved, research conducted by members could progress more quickly. In other words, better communication was key, and the advances in computing offered a way of improving this. A proposal was, in turn, put forward by Berners-Lee and Robert Cailliau in 1990 to manage information on what would be called the World Wide Web, using the concept of hypertext, simply text which links to other text. So from conception, the World Wide Web was a web of texts all linked up with the aim of conveying information quickly and efficiently. Fast forward to 1991, and we have the activation of the first website, a white background with text which links to other text. Fast forward to 1993, and we have the announcement that the World Wide Web would be free for anyone, anywhere. The statement read, CERN relinquishes all intellectual property rights to this code, both source and binary, and permission is given to anyone to use, duplicate, modify, and distribute it. This was a pivotal threshold moment, taking a potentially very powerful technology outside of the scientific community. Of course, the World Wide Web did not come from nowhere. It came into being as a result of huge advances in computing and other key innovations, such as the sending of the first electronic message and the sharing of documents and information between a restricted number of computers. And this had taken place over decades. This technical narrative and history is not one we have time for here, but if you'd like more information, there's lots of resources available online. Here, let's focus on the socio-cultural consequence of this development, this moment in 1993, which gave us the scaffolding or basis for the digital world as we know it today. So, where have we come since that defining moment in 1993, which linked information and people across all four corners of the globe? Well, we have come a very long way. From that very simple page displaying just text, we now have a media-rich online environment. We have colour, we have audio, we have video, all employed to share information about all sorts of topics of potential interest to different people. We access this media-rich environment that grew from that first simple page linking texts through browsers, an app or application, a program, tool which you have on your computer or phone, which is effectively the doorway to accessing any page, simply a location for a set of information that has been made available publicly. When we are not sure of the location of a set of information, that is which page to go to, we now have the help of search engines, a platform which has an index or record of as many pages as possible on the web. These search engines can help us locate where a certain set of information is held. What is the weather going to be like today? Who won the election? What is happening across the world? And much more. A lot of the locations of information, or pages, are free, or at least don't require us to pay anything to access them. Other locations require us to pay before gaining access to a given set of information. The information sits behind what we call a paywall. If we want to save pieces of information that we can access, whether we pay or otherwise, there are a whole set of tools available which now help us to do this. Many of these function as what we call browser extensions, applications which extend the capabilities of the browser. As for sharing information ourselves, there are lots of free ways in which we can do this. If we have a relatively contained piece of information we want to share with just one person or a select group, we can send an electronic message, an e-message email, through what is called an email client, a program either on your desktop or accessed through a browser, that doorway to the online world, or another of the many new messaging services that are developed. Slack, WhatsApp, and all of the so-called forked, unofficial versions of WhatsApp, which extend its official capabilities. If we want to share more information and do so more widely, this is also relatively easy. We can set up our own locations for bigger sets of information, our own web pages, either on collections of web pages or websites others own, or ones we sort of own. The name of these sites also form the address, i.e. the location. If we want to share information other people have created and disseminated, we can do so using the many curation tools which often function as those browser extensions. We can share our own information and that of others by releasing snippets of information on social media, on platforms such as one of the forms of WhatsApp, which many consider to act as a social media outlet, or Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. The options are really proliferating. It seems that through a new digital world, we have been given open access to ways of creating, curating, and sharing information. All of this at the click of a button, and mostly on demand. Or have we? It seems that the development of the World Wide Web and the developments which have sprung up around it, which together constitute our digital world as we know it, has stayed true to its founding goal. Or has it? Is this really what our digital world is and has come to be? And how will it continue to evolve? And how can we participate productively in this?